so welcome. Thank you so much for listening to the call and for like stepping into this spot and in this role. So
Yay.
beautiful sister Cassandra. I know you, I know your magic, and today we have the privilege to like dive into all kinds of magic and astrology and yeah, just the magic of the stars. And I know that you are like a walking walking library of wisdom, but for the souls that don't know you yet, would you explain a little bit more about what you do in this realm?
Oh, this is so nice that you were asking. Oh my goodness. Well, I am a certified metaphysician, which means I work with the tools of the divine, and then I give you prescriptions based upon your metaphysics and what's going on in your birth chart to help you with that. So, astrology, crystals, light language, mantra meditation, all of those is my true joy, and I dive into it every single day. It is such a part of me, and I just live by it now. It's beautiful. It's brought me a lot of gifts,
Yeah.
including you.
And I was blessed by you. by,
Oh.
by you taking that step and like walking this path. So thank you so much for like giving us a little like pre-taste about what you are doing and who you are. I mean, in this conversation, we will dive a little bit deeper into all of your gifts and all of everything that you like bring and anchor into this world, knowing that I don't know, words are so limited and there's so much more that you are and do within this world. But yeah, we try to like compress it into this little podcast episode as best as we can. So, but
Well, it's a lot to explain. It's been a long journey, and basically it started at age 42. I had a Uranus opposition. And at that time, I didn't really know anything, about astrology. I knew a little bit because I actually started as a child. I got this big book on birthdays and zodiac signs and just kind of, dove into the stars as a child. And then my mother read oracle card. Actually, she read just regular a deck of cards, which was so cool. And then she taught me how to do that as a child. And yeah, and it was so cool because I could just like look at the card and go, oh, you're going to meet so and so, or you're going to take a trip or whatever. And the neighbors would come over and they go, oh, you read my cards. And so I kind of dabbled, here and there. And just, when I go into the bookstore, I go to metaphysical first, but then you have kids and I kind of stepped away from it, but it was always there. But then at age 42, all of a sudden I had this Uranus opposition, and Uranus is the planet of sudden shocks and surprises. Are you okay, sister?
sorry, I don't
You okay?
my eyes are like, do you know that when you had mascara on the whole day?
Yes, in fact, I have my eyes doing the same, right? We're opposites, so I got on the other eye
Yeah,
that's doing
it's not
that.
weird. It's just so sorry. I will
Oh
uh
no, that's okay. You can't have runny black eyes when you're on.
oh goodness. Okay. So we were at the Uranus opposition.
Yes, oh my land. And so and it's such an important planet right now. Actually, it's funny that I'm talking about it because he's highly active right now, right? He just went and moved into the sign of Gemini, which is actually my sign. And he had I know, right? And it's a match, which is so terrific, like hallelujah, right? I'm so grateful for that because when planets land in an energy zone, they're either what's called in their domicile, exaltation, or their fall. And their fall is exactly what it sounds like. You're like tripping and falling the whole time. They're in that energy zone and nothing's working out. And oh my gosh, it can just take you out, right? But then when they're exalted or in their domicile, that energy is working for you. And so domicile means they're in their home, they're functioning well. Exalted means the best of the best. Yes! Woo! which we have right now. Actually, I know it's super exciting because we have Jupiter in Cancer right now, and that's all about comfort and safety and love and nurturing, and it's exalted. So everybody's got that kind of energy right now, which is beautiful. But Uranus is the planet of sudden shocks, surprises, and downloads, and he's a fast-moving, like lightning strike planet.
Wow.
And he moved into Gemini. And so Gemini is an air sign and Uranus is an air sign. So it's like,
Oh my goodness.
right?
It's like twice.
Oh, yeah, really fast energy. And so, yeah, and so so it's really important right now that we're like writing stuff down because Gemini is the planet of the mind. And people don't understand that, we have all these placements in our chart, every single energy zone, every planet, right? Yeah, the 12 placements. And so he's in the sign of the mind and the energy is moving so fast that it's really easy to forget things. So super important to write stuff down right now. But basically the higher mind, our higher selves are now with our human selves and our human mind. So it's really beautiful energy and we have that for the next 7 years. But at age 42, everybody goes through this and now they've done several studies on it and they have found that people that they think are going through midlife crisis are actually going through their Uranus opposition. Yeah, because Uranus is a planet of, I want to break free. I want my freedom. I want my independence and, sudden shocks and surprises, right? And that happens right around 42. And so at 42, I was in the best shape of my life teaching aerobics and for 15 years, great weight, all of that, right? And then all of a sudden I started breaking bones.
Mhm.
And yeah, and so the doctors, they couldn't, diagnose me, they couldn't figure anything out. And it was all because of my planets and where they were. And so then, of course, I had to, figure out how to get healthy again, right? And, without, all this extra medicine and everything, just, return to my own energy. And it was hard. It was a 5-year battle of, trying to figure out, where I needed to go next. And I just heard, I asked myself, I said, what do you really, really, really want? And I heard you want to read a book. And I was like, I do. And because I was like, wow, it's sometimes these answers are so simple for what we need, right? And I love to read books. I love it, but I just, we run out of time for everything, right? We don't always take the time to do what we want. So the first book I pulled out was the book on the moon. And right, I know, I know, that's what I mean. It just, these things, it just comes to you, right? And I was like, oh, okay. And my birthday was coming up. Well, in this book, there was it was called Moon Spells was the name of it. And it actually had a birthday ritual in there. And I thought, okay, what do I have to lose? And so I just went out on my birthday and I made the 10 wishes. I wished for a doctor to help me with my health and wellness. I wish for a new home and I wish to lose weight. I wish to have, the problems with my, hormones, fix all of that. And within a year, under a year, as a matter of fact, everything on my list had manifested, even a new home. Right. And so then I was like, wow, this really works. And do you know who Yasmin Bullen is?
Mm-mm.
So she is, oh, you're going to want to follow her. She does moonology and yeah, hers is she's an astrologer, but her big focus is the moon cycles. And so that's when I was following her and I was like, and I always trace everything and I study it and I go, okay, did this happen? Did that happen? Yeah, that worked. And then I checked it off, right? So then I took her moonology course and got certified as a moonology instructor. And yeah, right. And so then I told my friends, I said, you're not going to believe what happened. And they're like, you're kidding me. We want to do it. So then we all got together in a group and I did a new moon wishing and there was 5 of us and everybody, everything came true. And one of my friends got a check for $10,000. Another one got, yeah, she won an award. And another one got a surprise $12,000 in the mail. Yes. Yes, I mean it mind-blowing stuff, right? And they're like, well, it really worked, And so then next thing you know, I started, tracing the astrology and, following, what they say that the signs and symbols are, for the energy for that day. And I'd be like, yeah, this matches up, that matches up. So then I, took the astrology course, and it was just, just a basic, like a fundamentals kind of thing. And it was modern day astrology. And I was like, I want to know more, right? And so then that's when I dove into Vedic astrology, medical astrology, right? Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, here it all is, like everything that I had been through. And the whole reason that they were unable to diagnose, why I was breaking bones, because my osteoporosis test, all of that came back excellent, right? Because I had the planet Neptune in my house of health, and Neptune puts a veil over everything where you can't see clearly, so you get undiagnosed. So it was just fascinating. All of this stuff was so fascinating. And so then I went from medical astrology, and then I went into just, learning Vedic astrology. And then I found Hellenistic astrology, and I was like, yes, whoa. Right. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. It gave me answers, and it gave me solutions and remedies, instead of just, being, fate and fortune, right? This is happening, that is happening. I actually had solutions, and it gave me a peace of mind. And, and then I just started, helping other people. And I actually, before I even knew how to read the charts, I was actually channeling, and I would read numbers, and I would write out people's information based upon just on their numbers on their chart, and send them readings. And it would be really accurate, and they would send me donations and other referrals. And so anyways, the Hellenistic astrology is very, very powerful because it's really close to the Vedic astrology, because the Vedic astrology is by the fixed stars, which whoa, power, right? Power. And yeah, oh man, I love it so much. But the Hellenistic astrology follows time and tradition from the beginning of time. So it has ancient tools and ancient techniques, and it follows the history and patterns of the planets literally day by day. When the sun was here, it did this, that, and the other thing. And it went so deep rather than that surface level. Oh, you're a Gemini, you like to chat. Like, so what? Tell
Yeah.
me more, right?
Yeah.
And so it talked about, like hidden areas in the chart called adversions that you can't see. And of course, that's where my planets are. So where I was having all these mysterious things happen to me, right? So essentially the Uranus opposition, what happened to me, because my hip broke at 42. They were like, I had emergency surgery, and they're like, you're 42. This should not be happening, right? Well, your hips, in the birth chart, well, that each energy zone has a specific body part that goes with it and an identity, right? The hips is where you house all of your knowledge, right? Because that's where you have to hold your child. It's your wisdom, it's your base. And so essentially breaking the hips was like a soul contract for me to rebuild my energy mentally, physically, energetically, and spiritually. And so I have become a guru and a master of this, wisdom and knowledge. And I just can't stop. I'm always in a course. Always. And if I'm not taking a course and I'm not learning, I am not happy. I found that I actually get depressed when I'm not learning. So that answer that I got, really what you really, really want to read a book, was like, that has just stuck with me. And so now here it is, 13 years later. And yes, yeah. And the Hellenistic astrology now I have been studying for 5 years straight. And that's been a big, huge commitment. But again, all of it I love. And I just love that I can now go out and help people, and they're noticing a difference, and they're thriving. And I tell people, okay, here's what's happening in your chart, and here's a specific herb or crystal or ritual or remedy that you need for it. Here's how long it's going on. And so yeah, so I just, I love that I can help people. Of course, I would never wish what I've gone through on anybody ever, because after I broke my hip, then my feet started breaking, and then my feet broke 7 times. Well, come to find out, right? Yeah, so your feet are your foundation. And if your feet aren't working, your foundation is broken. And that's what I mean. I had to, rebuild everything. Well, I've got planets and points in the sign of Pisces, and Pisces rules the feet. And that sits in my house of my energetic health and wellness, as well as my daily routine and my health and wellness. So it was just really interesting when, when my feet broke and my hip broke, where it was all at, it was all right there in my energy zone of my chart. And like even today, what's so cool about today is it shows in my chart that I'm going to be on a podcast with a friend. Just like, yeah, so that's what's so cool about it. Yeah, and I just love it. And it's been like my daughter, for example, when I first looked at her and she met her boyfriend, right? And I'm like, when am I going to meet him? She's like, no, mom, no, I really like him. I don't want you to, mess anything up. I'm like, honey, I'm like, I don't do anything wrong. And then as soon as I read their chart, right? I looked at the chart and I don't know, this stuff it just comes out. I just channel it and it comes out and I'm like, what did I just say? Oh no. And so I'm looking at their chart and I go, oh, you guys are getting married. And she goes, oh, I had just met them. And then they did. They got engaged and they got married. And so that's the kind of things that I just see and it just happens and just this knowing. And it's just the more that I have been, dedicated to my studies and to spirit and this craft, the more accurate I am with everything. And so, basically my whole day, every day as I wake up and I say, okay, spirit, I invite you in and thank you for your blessings and gifts today and help me, do what is most important today for my highest path moving forward for the greatest good of all. And then they send me the messages. So I'm kind of like a monk or a Buddha. I spend like all day in scripture and all day doing whatever spirit says. And I'm grateful that I now have that time to do that because I'm an empty nester.
Yes.
So yeah, so now it's my time to serve the world and give back and I'm ready 30 certifications later.
Awesome. Wow, that was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. And yeah, I love that everything started with your mama and with her like teaching you. So it's like kind of a family lineage thing with this magic and everything. I love that. I love everything that you shared, and it's every time I'm like blown away because there are so many like niches of astrology, and you can like look into so many things, and I don't know. Uh, I'm also like in awe with everything that you like, all the wisdom that everything that you learned throughout the last years that you were studying all of this. So I'm very happy that people get to experience, yeah, just your gifts in that way, and that you are able to assist people on their path in such a beautiful and multidimensional way with using all the knowledge that you carried throughout time and that you remembered and studied and everything that you do during your whole day. Amazing. So, well, I don't know if there are still people that have no idea about astrology, but for some reason I felt like putting some basics in here. So, would you like give us a little bit of the astrology basics for
Yeah, because there's a lot, isn't there? There's so much with astrology. There's so much. Oh my land. Yes, so the basics are the basic that everybody really needs to know. And the number one thing that'll really help you tune in to, who you are at a soul level and put those missing pieces together are what's called our big three. Our sun, moon, and rising. And so that's our body, mind, and spirit. Like, we all know who we are for our sun sign, which is our zodiac sign and our star sign. And that's where it can get confusing because it's got three names, right? Like, oh my sign, star, sun, what? No, it's all one. So your sun sign is where the sun was when you were born. So that's your actual birth date. And with that, wherever the sun sits in the birth chart wheel is a 360-degree, a big circle with 12 different zones. And then wherever the sun sits, that is your identity. And that is your soul's code, your path, you're walking your yang energy for the rest of your life. And so that is the sun is, the sun is Christ-like codes. It's Christ-light energy. It's so bright we can't, you can't look at it, God's so bright, right? But we feel that warmth and that love and like, oh, you just feel so refreshed, right? Out in the sun. So that's huge. So the sun really is our vital life force energy. So when the planets go around the chart and they land next to your sun, they send information and codes in there that activate you for, oh, I feel this calling. I need to, walk this path or go this energy. So wherever the sun sits in your birth chart, like example, if it was in your fourth house, a home and family, your whole entire focus, your whole life, it will never change, even though you'll have, different modalities, different obstacles, right? It will always be about your home and your family and the roots of your chart, right? Um, so that's really important to know. And that's really great information because then like, okay, like my sun sits in the ninth house of God, the house of the heavens, I know, right? I'm like, yes, yay. So it sits in the house of heavens and the angels and oracles, and it's right underneath the great celestial rainbow. Well, you know what? My whole life, I have been like rainbows, rainbows, rainbows. I've got pictures all over my house with waterfalls and rainbows. So, when you start diving into these things, you will see that you have around your house the symbology and the signs of who you are there. And it's been with you your whole life. And then once you start diving in, you're like, oh my gosh, Spirit's been here trying to tell me this whole time. And then, you have these identity markers that, send these codes in for remembrance. And then all of a sudden it lights up and you're like, wow, that's it, right? And so my sun sits under the celestial rainbow, and I just feel so privileged because I get to work with the seraphim and I get to work with the ascended masters, right? And I get to work with that dragon energy. Yes, yay! And so beautiful when you find out where your sun is. So that all that energy is just your birth date. And then you have your moon sign, and the moon is so important to know who you are, because the moon is where the moon was when you were born. So the moon is the cutting of the umbilical cord from the mother to the child. So it's the passing of the emotions from the mother and your ancestral lineage.
Wow.
So it's so powerful, Janine. It is so incredibly powerful because how they say that, we're hanging on to, emotions that aren't ours, or, we've got these subconscious fears that you're like, why do you feel that way when, that event has never happened to you? That is the passing of the moon energy from the mother to the child, that you're hanging on to her emotions and you're still trying to process that and release it. And so that's why it's so powerful to work new moons and full moons in your chart, because then you can work with your own energy and you can release that ancestral lineage and that mother energy that you got that you weren't even aware of, right? So the moon sign, it's just so incredibly important. I almost feel that it's more important than your sun sign, because your moon sign is, the moon equals our emotions, how we feel internally. And then our emotions radiate externally, which equals our environment, right? Because if we're feeling depressed, we're in bed, right? And that's our moon sign that's doing that. So that's why it's really important to know what the moon is doing, where it's at, and how it's affecting. So you can go, wait a minute, this is not me. This is, an emotion that the moon is causing today. Oh, I'm going to go get my bergamot, or I'm going to go get my citrine crystal, right? And so every day choosing that energetic remedy that's going to get you up and get you moving. So, you can be energetically healthy, right? So your moon sign is really going to help you, understand that and know where you're at. So my sun sign, I'm a Gemini sun, and I'm a Pisces moon. Now, remember, I told you I broke my feet 7 times. Pisces rules the feet
Mhm.
and the emotions in the environment. And at that time, I was going through my Uranus opposition, and my emotions were off, because when you have an opposition that is like a full moon in your chart where a spotlight's on and it is tension, like shining across your chart until something snaps and breaks. And there went my feet. right? So, so interesting. So your moon sign is way more important than you know. And so I would really advise, if there's one thing that I want everybody to leave with, go find out your moon sign. Find out how you function emotionally, because that is also your love language, believe it or not. If you know somebody's moon sign, you know how to nurture them, you know how to take care of them, you know what they need for communication and for their environment. So it really is key. I mean, truly the biggest. And the moon is the fastest moving planet on the chart. So it moves every 2.5 days. So for example, today it could be in the sixth house, which the sixth house is work, your daily routine, right? And your schedule. So, okay, today I feel like it's in my sixth house of exercising. Yeah, I'm going to go exercise. And tomorrow it's there. I'm going to go exercise again. And then the next day it moves to another zone. You're like, oh, I don't feel like exercising today. Today I feel like going and working on my relationships because now it's in my relationship house. So yeah, so knowing where your moon sign is really helps you understand how you're functioning that day, and it helps you step into that energy so it flows easier for you. But that moves every 2.5 days. So that really changes how you're feeling every single day. So that is your spirit. Your sun sign is your soul. Your moon sign is your spirit. And then your rising sign is really important because your rising sign is where the sun was when it was rising. So right as you come in, Ginny's going to be born. So now I'm going to put together your birth time, your birthplace, and your birth time. And then you're going to be down here. You're that C, that Pluto, and you come up and then go, and then your energy is dispersed throughout the chart. And that's where the planets end up in different zones. But you end up right here where the sun is rising. So your rising sign is who you came here to be and who you are ascending to be. Like, for example, you're a Scorpio rising, right? And Scorpio is all about, transforming energy and sending energy and controlling energy. And boy, is that ever what you do, right? Yeah, energy is your thing. And so you're only going to get stronger at that and more powerful and better, right? Because your whole life is about you ascending to be, Scorpio. And so understanding and knowing that you really are all three of these parts, and they come in at different time zones of your chart, depending upon, where they're triggered right now. So like right now, the access that's most triggered right now for the next until September of next year, and we're getting ready to go through eclipse. It's Virgo Pisces is who's up for right now. That should really be feeling it for rising signs. Because it's all about it, and we're going through that portal right now for the next 3 months where things are changing. And like I know a lot of Virgo is about work and your daily routine, and they're moving, changing jobs, everything is changing in their lives right now. So there's always somebody in the ascendant position, the rising sign position, that every 18 months that energy is up for change. And then it won't come around again for another 19 years. So it's just really interesting. So when I had my Uranus opposition and broke all of my bones, my rising sign was there and was going through eclipse energy, and I didn't even know it. So now that I know to watch for that kind of stuff when it's coming up, oh my gosh, I make sure that I am aligned.
This is so cool. My goodness.
That planet of sudden shocks and surprises, that is my planet. And so I know it well. And man, you can have your hair standing up on it, let me tell you.
But wouldn't your life be less exciting if it wouldn't be this planet? Like you are up for the ride, I feel.
Every day, now that I have learned that planet so much, and I know that that's one of my ruling planets, that's what I mean. I make sure every day I'm like, okay, did I say my prayers today? Did I call my angels in? Do I have my lucky pendant on me?
Oh, this is so amazing.
And that's why I'm so grateful that Uranus is now in Gemini, and it's a favorable aspect because these two energies work together, right? So woo.
Well, this is amazing. Thank you so much for like shining a light on this. I mean, a lot of people that probably will listen to this podcast already like know the basics, but I, for example, never heard about the importance of the moon sign. So thank you so much for like, yeah, just bringing this into the space and like combining it with the emotion and how important and how helpful it can be in relationships. I love that. I love that you brought this into the space, and I hope that, yeah, a lot of people find out about their moon signs. So.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
And I also felt like there was a reason why you call your Instagram Lunar Creations and not Sun Creations, you know? It's like that connection to the moon that you have. Like there's some special connection to the moon, right?
hmm So I'm a Pisces moon, and Pisces is all about the metaphysical, all about, working with Jesus and the angels and ascended masters and, just being out there in the woo-woo, right? So I was, little did I know it was my fate and fortune for me to work with the moon. And actually, I have the North Node that sits next to my moon. And so when you have the node next to your moon, oh my land, like there's no way you're not going to go and work with the moon, because the North Node, yeah, right. I mean, these planets, they when they sit next to an energy point, that is your birthright. That is, you are here to claim that, and it will come to you at the right time. And right, yeah. And so the North Node is, I mean, I don't even, like I said, I've been doing this for 13 years now, and I always, follow the trail of what's working. And then when that works, I'm like, give me more, give me more. I need to educate myself on that, and then I stick with what works. And so that's how I, wrap myself around. Okay, now I've got a business because I know all of this works. But the North Node, it looks like a horseshoe,
Mhm.
and it's the head of the dragon.
Yeah.
It's where you just like, you're like, I gotta go for this, I gotta go for this, right? And you can't get enough. And so my North Node is super glued to the moon, which is all about your environment and filling everything and changing with the environment and mutating things, and dealing with the unseen, right? The visible and the invisible. And boy, when it comes in, it comes in. Woo!
It does.
Yes, and back to my story with the Uranus opposition. Again, when I broke my feet, it was, in the Pisces energy, the exact energy that we're in now, 19 years later. It is now 19 years later. And it's the exact energy we're in. And so the North Node, it can also be fatal to you. It can cause things like, you breaking, and all of that, because it's trying to align you, to where you're going. Or you can be like, it's dragon energy, right? It can get out of control. Like, I just can't get enough. And then next thing you know, you be like overdone, and you're like, I'm done. Right. And so it was in the sign, the North Node was being targeted, and my moon sign was being targeted in the sign of Pisces, which was feet. And I broke my feet 7 times. 7 is spiritual. 7, my birthday is on a 7 day, and 7 is a direct line to heaven, because it goes both vertical and horizontal. Because 1 is a direct line, I say my prayers, I communicate to heaven, and then it grounds here on earth. And then when you add the 7, you now are accessing the north and south, right? East and west. You're accessing all planes. So really powerful. So if you've got a 7 code in your birthday, you are here for spiritual happenings and spiritual awakenings, without a doubt. Without a doubt. That's also another area that I actually dived into before I even started doing birth charts, was numerology. I took this numerology course, I was blown away, right? Like, the numbers, or the universe speaks to us in numbers, as we know, right? Very accurate. 333, 222, all of that, right? And so with the birth chart, it's so cool, because when the planets come in, wherever they land in your chart, there's degrees that they land by. Well, each one of those degrees is a message for you. If there's a 28 or a 7 or whatever. So in this training, you go in and you add up all the degrees of the planet, and then it'll tell you like your life's code, your soul's code, as you go around. And so that's what I would do for people. I'd be, okay, I'll just, channel all this and write it out. And like I said, it was accurate. And I didn't even know how to read charts then. But interestingly enough, I've never seen another chart like this before. But mine, every single zone on my birth chart adds up to 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9,
Really?
all the way around. And this year, which is the Pisces Virgo axis, right? And my North Node. But this year is a 9 universal year.
Wow.
And I finally feel right. I finally feel because 9 is a number of wisdom and abundance because we start out as 0, right? We're born, we know nothing, and then we get 1, 2, and we get older and wiser. So by the time you come to 9, like and then oops, are you locked up? Okay. By the time you come to 9, right? And so then the 9 actually flips over to a 6, which is wisdom and abundance, right? And so it's really a beautiful number. And so this year is a 9 universal year, which means this is the end for me. Like I am done. I have finally done it. Right. I know. Yay. Right. Yay. It's been, oh my God. Like I said, I would never wish this path on anybody. And I can't believe that it was even my soul's code that I said I would come in and do this because it's not been easy at all. It's not been easy, but the blessings, like meeting people like you, my soul family, my soul sisters. Oh my gosh, like I would do it all over again just to meet people like you and just to have you in my life. I truly would. I really, really mean that. So this year, because 2025 adds up to a 9. So it's all about endings. It's about, because we're in the Pisces axis and the North Node where you're going. Pisces is the energy of unraveling traumas and tribulations and trials in your life. So it's ending that cycle. So it really is about ending everything that I've gone through, grabbing all of my wisdom and knowledge, saying, okay, all of this has come to a head. And then you flip that over. And then next year, we're in a one, which is master manifestation, right? You pray to heaven, your wishes come to earth. So it really is, everything is ending and getting ready to start over. And I'm launching a brand new me, brand new energy. And yes, right. But gosh, why does it have to happen when you're like, so old?
You are not so old. Look how fresh you look.
Well,
Compared.
and actually they say that after the age of 50, it is now our birthright to start getting our gifts, to start getting these wisdom, that spirit actually starts flowing in and coming to you and bringing resources to you. Because at 50, we are supposed to give back to the world because now we are the gurus, that life experience. And so we're supposed to help other people. And so I just feel really honored that I am where I'm at now and really grateful that I'm finally ready to step into this because it's been a lot and be penetrated by all this all the time and learn it and then go, okay, this is really real. This is really happening. And this is really who I am. And I really have this gift. I really have this gift. Yay. Right. So, yeah, come on, people, come to me. Let me help you. Let me love on you. Right. I just can't wait.
I love that so much. Yeah, I feel you being ripe and ready for like what's to come, like so there.
Well, thanks to you, Janine. I mean, seriously, you've loved on me and supported me so much. And really, you've just given me so much courage. And I'm so grateful for you.
It's equal and it comes from within you. Like I'm just like love, and you're like I'm ready.
Yeah. Love, love. Yes, yes. I take it. I accept it.
Yeah. And eventually it was you like that was like the phoenix like rising through.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Is that ever in my birth code? The phoenix rising from the ashes, right?
Awesome. Well, I'm very, very glad that you took the path that you took in this life and you went through everything because I feel it shows a lot. Like it's like for people that may be in some difficult situations, there there's always a reason for things that happen, and in your way it like took you on this journey that opened you up in a way, in a very magical way. But I love that you also like put emphasis on that it also was challenging and that you had to,
Ah,
like you really had to like align and work with these energies and do your homework and do your work with yourself and work with your soul and your emotions and every layer of your being. So but yeah, now you're here, and I feel this is a very, I don't know, beautiful, very, very beautiful story that you shared. Because I know that, yeah, for some people, it's, yeah, when you're in the thing and you're going through it, like you're wondering, is it ever gonna end? And yeah, but eventually there will be an end, and eventually
It was, I could honestly say it was the hardest time of my life, because, and I was fully functioning. I was a dental assistant for 17 years, and I would go to work, and then I would leave work and I'd go and teach aerobics for 15 years. And then I'd go back to dental assisting. And then I also traveled in the community and worked at other places on call. And I taught dental assisting school and volunteered at the school district. So, I was crazy busy, right? And then when I broke everything, like, and I had 3 children I was raising. So, right. And so then when I was broke and then I'm laid down, I'm like, what is this? Because, I'm an active person. I need to get going. So, I mean, it was very traumatic for me on, every way, shape, and form. It changed my family, my home life, everything. And, and then the doctors put you on, medicine for depression and, all these, they had me on all these different medicines. And then you gain weight and you can't get out of bed and you're tired and you're sluggish and you're like, who am I? What is this? How do I combat this? And so I just, I just stopped everything because I'm like, I was so foggy and so groggy and couldn't get out of bed. And I was like, I have to find me again. And so I just went off all of the medicine, which I'm not saying I recommend that, right? Because medicine is definitely a blessing for people, but I was on so many, I couldn't find who I was. And then that's when I pulled out the crystals that my mom had given me. And she had this beautiful, beautiful, huge crystal ball. In fact, it's on my page on Instagram. That was my mother's, and then just started working with natural healing modalities and reading. And then, every time I opened the page, it would be like, Spirit says, this is the page you need. This is the information you need. And every step of the way, the more I stepped into, enlightenment, the more the answers were there for me. It was beautiful. And that's how the whole path has been. The more that I've stepped into, okay, I want to heal. I want to be strong. I want to, be able to help other people and thrive. And the more spirit brought the people to me, brought the answers to me and, made that happen. So it's, and in ways it's also been, so beautiful, so beautiful. But looking back on it, like I said, I don't know that I would call it in again.
You did it. It's
But I'm so glad that I can be here for, other people that are going through the same thing, because we all go through crisis like that. It's part of our birthright, right?
and you went through it and you came out of it like pretty glowy.
Thank you.
That's very, very awesome.
Everyday process.
Oh, goodness, that's so amazing. So, there's so much. I feel like we could talk for 10 hours about astrology and all of the regions of astrology. But just to like put a little bit direction into this, because as I understood it now, it would be beneficial to like look at your chart every day. But you also do like just in chart readings in general, and you show what's happening like within the phase of people's lives. So maybe we can like dive a little bit deeper into how a reading could like benefit a person that is going through something, and this person does not necessarily have to go through some turmoils in life.
Right.
It could benefit you on all levels, just receiving some wisdom and some insights about what's happening within your chart.
I would love to share. Thank you for asking. Because there's so many, there's a million ways that you can read a chart. There are so, just, oh my gosh, there's so many stories in a chart. It's absolutely incredible. And when I dive into a chart, I just like go right in and then just start downloading. And whenever you come before me, it is always what you most need to hear at the time that you need to hear it. And the guides are always with me. I mean, it floors me sometimes what comes out of my mouth when I start channeling. And then when I'm done, I'm like, oh, what did I say? And then they come back and they're like, that happened. I'm like, oh, thank God. I'm like, where did that come from? But yeah, there's many, many ways to read a chart. Like just a regular birth chart reading. When you come to me and you like, I just want you to read my chart, like I will dive in and the first thing I will teach you is about your big three, because you really need to understand your sun, moon, and rising. And so I'll tell you about that and where your placements are. And I kind of do a no-no when I read a chart, because they say, because there's so much information, right? And it can get really overwhelming and confusing for people. So they say to really help people understand, you should just do one chart, one simple thing, stick with one thing. But I read the natal chart and transits. So I read both your birth chart and then where the planets are here, now, and today, and how they're interacting. So I show you, like, okay, Pluto is with your sun right now. Here's, what that means for your soul's code. So you get a lot more information with me than you would a general, astrologer. But basically, it's what you most need to know at the moment. You'll always get what's going on in your life, and remedies always. Like, I just cannot, a lot of astrologers, that's a separate fee for a remedy. They'll just read your chart and they give you a fee, but I can't help it. I want to help you, right? So I'll tell you the crystal, I'll tell you the herb, I'll tell you the mantra, whatever you need at the time that you need to fix it. So that's one way. I can go in, I can tell you your gifts and talents. I can tell you, if you're a channeler, what all you can do. I can tell you your past life energy, if you were from the Atlantis, the Lemurians, the Egyptians. I mean, there really isn't anything that I can tell you. And what I love to do too is when people are going through something and they say, hey, I'm going through this, I can zoom in on it on the chart and go, look, it's right here. Here's exactly what you're going through. Here's why you're going through it. Here's how long it's going to last. And here's how you fix it. Here's how you fix it, right? I mean, oh my gosh. Because that's, essentially that's what I've been doing for the last 13 years, is going through my chart going, okay, I have this problem in my chart. I have this problem in my energy. How do I fix it? Because I want to be a stronger, better person where I'm in my own sovereignty and I'm not falling apart and I'm not depressed and I'm not in bed all the time. And yeah, so that's all, for the last 13 years, that's what I've been doing, just going through going, okay, this is happening, how do I put it together? So there's a lot of fun ways. So one service I have is just your birth chart reading, and you can ask me questions, or I can just dive in and read to you. Another service that I have that, oh my gosh, it's so much fun. Oh, and I love it. I love it so much. It's kind of like, it's basically your love language in each energy zone on your birth chart wheel. So it's called understanding the elements in you. So in each placement of your birth chart, in each placement of your birth chart, you're actually air, water, earth, or fire. And so when like example, like say in your communication zone, like in my birth chart on my communication zone, I'm actually fire energy. I'm a Sagittarius in that area. So I speak fast and I move fast and clearly, right? Like fire, you feel it when I'm talking, and right? And so and so you understand like how people communicate, right? Or if they're, if somebody's a water sign in their communication zone, you understand that they're really sensitive and they feel everything when you're talking to them. So you really need to be loving and nurturing and kind to them. So it's kind of like, learning and understanding, the modalities in your birth chart and what, energy you are. Then, it's like knowing your moon sign. Then you can function better in that area. And okay, when I go out in public, in this area of my chart where I'm supposed to be working on my relationships, I know that I'm fire energy, so I can be a lot. I need to learn to ground my energy when I'm with people in relationships, because I'm boom, go, right? And I also know that I can be like short and fast and curt and, not give them the attention that they need at times. So it really helps you understand you better, and it just makes you an overall better person. And it makes your life better, because you're like, oh, I never knew I functioned like that. And then, another area in your birth chart, if you're, for work, and say you're a water sign and you're just falling apart at work all the time, you can use for a remedy, you can use your water. Just, whenever you feel like you're, falling apart at work, say, I am calm, I am love, I am light, talk into your water and drink it, and then go about your day. So there's literally remedies for each part of your chart that aren't going to cost you anything, and you can do very simply. So that's a really fun service. I really love that one. Another fun service that I have is for your relationships and putting the charts side by side. And so then I'd have like your chart and my chart, and I'd say, okay, here's where we get along, here's where we clash, and here's how you heal that energy. So that's a really fun one too. So there's just, a ton of different things that I can do for people. But truly the biggest thing that a person can do to work their energy, if they like, I can't afford a chart reading, or I just don't really know about this right now, just start stepping into working with the moon. Because again, the moon is, our emotions, which equals our environment. So when you work with the moon, it changes your emotions and it changes your environment. And you literally, when you work with the moon cycles, every new moon and every full moon, after one full year, you will have reworked all of the karma in your chart, all of it. You'll be yeah, it's like, how we sit down and we do the new moon or the new year wishing. All you have to do is work with the moon cycles in your birth chart, and that is your new year wishing. Like everything will work out. And so because every 2 weeks we have a new moon and then a full moon and a new moon and a full moon, and it literally goes around that like you're in your chart and hits these different zones. And so when you work that and you come out on the other side, when I first did that, after my first year of reworking everything, I was like, I don't have anything to wish for anymore. I feel complete. And so then I started making crystal grids and altars and wishing for other people, and it worked. It worked. And so I love doing that. Like if anybody wants me to help them and do a moon wish or a crystal grid or an altar, I would love to do that for you, right? And so it's really simple to do. I mean, basically you just, you can make your wishing as complicated as you want, or as complex as you want, or as simple as you want. It really is all about that intention, right? And so, studying the moon cycles and learning like, why at a full moon, why do you release? Why? Well, because what happens is when that moon cycle hits your chart at a full moon, that is an area of your chart that shines a spotlight and lights up your chart for a 6-month cycle that you're completing. And so that's why you want to release that energy so you can move on, because it's going to be a new moon next. And you want to be able to feel complete and not have that burden, over you that, oh my gosh, I didn't get that task done. So you say, okay, that task is no longer vital. I'm going on to the next one. And so it's a really powerful thing to do. And I really want to encourage people to do it because it will change your life. It will change your energy, and it will bring you blessings, and it will bring you alignment, and it brings spirit in, because the moon is consciousness. It is the womb. It's the mother energy, right? So it's really important. And the moon controls the tides in the oceans. Like, when we have a super moon and it's closest to the earth, and then we have those big tidal waves, right? That's doing that to us because we're 80% water. So truly working with the moon is the number one advice that I would give. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. This is so amazing. There's so much to still uncover. Like maybe we have to do this again and like dive a little bit deeper into everything.
Yeah,
But
part two.
yes. But I love everything that you shared, and you have like very unique offerings, and it's like because I mentioned that because from the name of an offering, like you don't know what happens, like but what you do is like really it's everything. It's like you give like golden nuggets of every area. Like it's like it just feels like a sphere. It just feels like full circle what you're doing.
Oh, thank
So
you.
yeah, I would love to encourage all the souls that feel the call to um, connect to you and work with you in that way to reach out. And of course, you will find all the links in the description box below. And I also love that you mentioned your crystal grids because that's what I want to tap into next, because you work with altars and yeah, you are also doing grid work,
Mhm.
and you are just your crystals are just next level. Every time I see them, I'm like, this is like next level. So would you like to share a little bit more about like how you are working with crystals?
Oh my goodness. Yes, I would love to. In fact, I have a whole family sitting right here that joined me this morning. They said, I want to be here. And I was like, okay. So we'll start with this one is really important. And actually it's right. Yeah, receive, receive, receive. Yeah. Woo! So this is fluorite, and fluorite is actually really important for everybody because it blocks EMFTs. So you should actually have fluorite by your computer, by your Wi-Fi box, and all of that. And if when you first get your fluorite, like sit in front of your computer and just kind of feel the energy like this. And then when you set your fluorite in front of it, you can literally stick your hand. It's like, whoa. I mean, it really helps. So fluorite is one like every single day. I even have a bracelet on it. It's a master crystal, and it is the birth crystal for Gemini. Because Gemini is the energy of the mind that rules both the right and left mind. So fluorite rules the right and left mind, but this is also Mercury and Merlin and Saint Germain. So fluorite is bigger than you know. And working with the skulls, we actually have placements in our birth chart as well. Wherever that placement is the certain modality you should work with. Well, where my placement is in the heavens, that is the placement of, wisdom and knowledge and working with skulls and the ascended masters. So the skulls, I can't get enough of them. And they're really powerful because you can actually, I can point them at you and get messages, and then I can turn it back, and then I can get the messages. Yeah, like that. And, yeah, I mean, right? I'm like, oh, Mercury, okay, blah, you're not very happy, right? So they're very, very powerful. Yeah. So that's one of them. And then this is um, oh my gosh, this is for Capricorn, and this is for our foundation. This is garnet, and boy, is this a really garnet is more important than you could possibly know. But and you see how it's black, right? Because it's absorbing, all of that energy. But garnet is extremely powerful, and there's certain placements that you should, prescribe that like a prescription, metaphysician, right? Prescription, right? So I am a gemologist, and a gemologist is somebody who is certified to actually give you the specific crystal for your planetary placements.
Wow.
So I don't, yeah, right? I mean, big, that's a big, big deal. I don't just throw a crystal out there and go, here you go, Janine, use it. No, I go, no, this is specific for your energy and where you have this planet. Working with garnet is really important for me because I have my planets in a place that's called an inversion, where you can't see or feel that energy, and all of a sudden, bam, something happens to you, and you're like, what happened? So garnet really really helps with that. But it's a master stone again. I love to work with the master stones. Um, Selenite, of course, selenite is always going to selenite. Oh, my best friend, right? It's actually one of the first crystals I work with. Selenite brings the angels, and I can definitely verify that. Definitely. But selenite is the highest frequency there is. Everybody should have selenite because it removes negative energy. It raises your vibration. It's white like the light, but the best place to put it is by your front door because it will absorb any negative energy and transmute that energy so only light is coming in. So very, very powerful. Another thing, like every day, I never miss a day. I feel so refreshed too when I do it. Is I take my selenite, right? I know you see, I just eat this stuff up. But it cleanses your aura and recharges your aura too. So you trace it over your body and under your legs and your arms and behind you and in front of you. And when you're done, you're literally enclosed in a white light and high vibration frequency, the seraphim energy, right? And you're just like, I feel so much better. Ooh, yes, see, I feel better. These things they just get to me. And I love them so much. And then here's my amethyst egg, and our aura is egg shaped. So working with the egg is incredibly powerful, and I have like 20 eggs. I cannot get enough. I love the eggs. So eggs are spiritual, right? We come from an egg, right? So the more you work with eggs, the more you call in spirit, the more you embody spirit, the more you pack that around. And the amethyst is, a lot of people Oh, they're like, oh yeah, I have amethyst, right? Because there's so much around, but there's a reason that there's a lot of amethyst around because it is what most matches our human DNA and our third eye, our pineal gland is, yeah. So it's really, yeah, really, really important. So don't underestimate these stones just because you see it all the time. There's a, God made a lot of it for a reason because we need it. So because it matches our DNA and our third eye, it's actually a very protective stone. So it's great to have it for sleeping at night to protect you, while you're dreaming and sleeping and help with stress and anxiety. So I love the eggs. That's a really powerful one. And then of course, my beautiful. And this is where we connected, right? Over the dragon. And so this is Mongado calcite. And this first came to me when I was in my Astaria Chrysalis course, and we were channeling and we were traveling to Atlantis and Lemuria. And it's when I was first learning, yeah, about the dragon. And boy, did I have some whoa, mind-blowing experiences, right? And I had to heal from them too. Um, and speaking of the egg, come to find out, my planets, I have three planets. When you have three or more planets together, that's called a stellium of life-fated karmic events that are going to happen to you, but they're also gifts and talents you will receive, right? So my three birth planets actually sit in the area of the chart that is the womb, the egg.
Mhm.
So you see, that's what I mean. These little things that come to you that you like love so much, they are really a part of you, and you can see them in the chart. So anyways, the dragon energy is like, oh my gosh, once you start working with dragons, you'll never go back, right? Because they're your own personal patronus where they just pop the energy around you and they right? And so the Mangata calcite is actually one of the highest frequency vibration stones for love, because that's the highest vibration we can have. So I am a Libra rising, and my stone for a Libra rising is the Mangano calcite. And my ruling planet is Venus. And then when I was trying to get, because every stone, every crystal has a spirit in it, and every crystal has a name. And she would not reveal her name to me. I'm like, what's your name? And I just wasn't getting. And then one day she said Rose. And I was like, of course it's Rose because I'm Venetian ruled, right? And then I went to the Rose lineage activation and met you. And then that's how, the whole thing. So it's really interesting how these stones will bring you, the connections that you need and the right people into your life because these crystals, even though this Mangana calcite is with me, it's part of a Mangana calcite somewhere else. So it connects, they connect around the world, their spirit, wherever it's at. Yeah, right, right. So truly magical. It all comes. And then this one is a fossil one. And isn't you can really feel the energy. So, yeah, this is a fossil. And so this is really, fossils are very powerful. I know. It's just
It's like booming. It's like,
yeah, just like,
I'm like, yes.
is a, it's like, yeah. I just, I just love them so much, and this one, I just always like, I just love them so much. So fossils are so full of, life force energy and give you so much energy. So this one is really, really powerful. And it's been in our meditations before, right?
Mhm.
Especially the seraphim. This is my seraphim dragon right here without a doubt. When you were doing those activations for me, this was the one. Yeah, I'm just, oh, I love him so much. I love him so much. And I call my dragons in every day, air, water, earth, fire, and ether, to surround me and renew every cell in the body and raise the frequency around me wherever I go today. Blessing and guiding my way. And I call that in every day. And then the other frequency I call in every day. Yay! Yes,
Unicorn.
yes, yes, yes. Right? This is so important, and I just really want to send this frequency out to people right now because we're in the Leo new moon energy, and the Leo new moon energy is all about our sovereignty, but it's also about that inner child and the joy and delight and what we came here to create. And the unicorns, that's where you're going to get that from. They are going to every time just beam their little horn into you and send that heart energy into you. You know it just automatically raises your frequency, right? So another thing is I call in the unicorn frequency every day, and I put it in my heart and I say, raise my vibration and frequency to that unicorn frequency, bring me in the love and the light, and it works. These modalities really, really work, and these frequencies really work, and we can work with any frequency we want. And little do we know, but every day we're actually working with a frequency. If we choose to be grumpy, we're choosing to work with that frequency. If we choose to be love and light, we're choosing to work with that frequency. And every day I choose the frequency of joy, delight, love, and light. And whatever I can do to help somebody. I never feel complete if I'm not helping somebody. I will reach out and say, can I read your chart? I need to love on somebody. I need to help you. So this is my family that wanted to be here today. And then the latest, greatest one I got is this little frog one here. And then the red ribbon it's all for good luck and good fortune and stuff. And so this is Seraphonite for transferring energy and your Kundalini awakening, right? And I actually, because of my stellium of planets, I'm actually here to activate Kundalini awakening and dragon energy in people. That is my thing.
That's so on point. Like that is your dragon codes are like next level, and we still have to figure out a way that you can like record them in a way, like to get off everything through because they are so next level. Yeah.
Yeah, the Zoom or the microphone will cut them off sometime because it's such high frequency. But that's an activation when you can't hear it because it's so.
Yeah, it is. The codes definitely come through, and one can feel the frequency like next level. Oh, wonderful, Cassandra. That is so, so amazing. I feel like this is like everything that just anchored through that just flowed through you and anchored through us is like a lot to unpack for people. So I feel, yeah, we for this first part of the podcast, we will like yeah, wrap this conversation up slowly and yeah, just let people wonder when the second part is gonna happen. And
There's always more with me, right?
there's
That's
always
always.
more. Yeah, you are like your channel is like so open. This is this beside my mother, you are like my mother's also like she's just like boom. So this is like and I love it. I love that it flows so freely through you. So
I
but
need to meet your mom. I need to read her chart.
you definitely need to meet my mom. Yeah, we never talked about this. I
No,
met your
that would
daughter.
be fun. Send her to
Oh,
me. Send her to me.
yeah, yeah, we will do that. That yeah, the thing is she's like learning English. It's like
Oh,
she's
okay. That's
in the
hard.
process.
Yeah, it's a little bit
So,
tough, especially when I speak so fast and give so much information. That might be a little tough.
but but we will make that connection for sure, and also with
Yay.
your daughters. And I'm very excited for it. But before we wrap this up, we have to let people know where they can find you.
Oh, yeah.
Also, if there's anything special, like besides your cool offerings that you offer for the souls, is there anything else that you would like to share, like events or something?
Well, I've got some things behind the scenes that I'm working on, and I really want to bring a 6-week boot camp to people.
Yes.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I'm stuck on the name right now. I'm like, okay, what do I want to call it? Like, intuitive activations or just in activations or basically putting together 13 years of my knowledge and education because I also do sound healing as well. So like you said, I've come full circle. I've got my herbology degree, my crystal degree, my, astrology degree, anything metaphysical. It's like, my thing. And so I really want to put together like a 6-week boot camp. So kind of, keep an eye on that. But for right now, I am offering on the side, like personal, I've got clients that I'm doing like personal training, right, for metaphysical. So I'm always available for, personal training and putting packages together. And I also do public events as well. And you can find me on Instagram. That's my main hangout place. I do have a Facebook page, but for some reason, people flock more to Instagram. And so you can find me there. I do have a YouTube channel that it's been dormant for a while because, I just kind of, I'm one of those, I'm like, Spirit says do this, Spirit says do that. And then I try it and I get into it and I'm like, oh, wait, that's too much for me right now. I need to back off. And so I mean, the astrology was it was 6 days a week that we were in school for 2.5 hours for 2 years straight for the Hellenistic astrology. I mean, it is big, big commitment. And I just signed up for another course. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm taking it. Yes. And it starts in October. Yeah, I'm so excited because I've been watching this course for the last 3 years, and it's called Ren Butler and the Archetypal Universe. And he actually has a book that he's got several books that he wrote. So, that's the thing when you do this, you get to work with the people that like wrote the books, right? The actual guru. So I'll be hanging out with him for 6 months. And I'm really excited about the course because you can't even take this course unless you're intermediate to advanced with your skills. So yay, I'm like, yay, I could finally join. I'm like, just like on a spur moment, I'm like, press the button. Oh, I did it, yes. And so that's starting, but the archetypal universe is going to be really good because it's about the different personalities of the planets and blending them together. So it's a lot of different modalities, but yeah, basically there isn't anything that I can't do for you, and I love to do it all for you. And you can just come on in and you can see me and I can just sit down and just start channeling and reading what's there, or you can, give me a specific question, give me a specific event, and I can tell you exactly why it's happening and how to fix that and how long it's going to last. And so astrology for me has been a real lifesaver when you have planets in an area of your chart that's hidden and you don't see, and stuff hits you from out of the blue, like it takes you out, right? Like, oh my gosh, how am I going to function today? This tragedy happened to me, or that tragedy happened to me, but when you see it in the chart and you're like, okay, that one's gone. Click. I'm moving on because I got this to look forward to. So it really, it helps you mentally, achieve what you want to achieve physically. So it's been a real beautiful blessing. And it's been such, thank you for your time. Thank you. It's 1, 2, 3 right now. There's another sign in synchronicity. So thank you so much, Janine. Yay. Yay.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for coming and for sharing all of your wisdom and everything that just
Thank you.
flowed through. I'm so, so grateful. And you know that I love you with all my heart, Cassandra.
Yeah, I know. I love you too. And I'm so grateful for you. Oh, I'm so grateful. From day one, I just knew you were my soul sister. And yeah, it's just beautiful. I'm so grateful for you. And thank you, Spirit. Yeah, thank you. And thank you so much for this time. And I look forward to seeing you on Monday in your class. So yay.
Awesome. I can't wait to see you too.
Yeah, thank you.
So,
Thank you.
uh,
Well, have a blessed weekend. And thank you again for taking the time and the energy to be here with me today, Janine. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to meeting your mom.
yes, we will do that. Somehow we will do that.
Okay.
Thank you so much, and thank you to everyone who listened. And make sure that you're checking out the description box below to visit Cassandra's website and Cassandra's Instagram, Luna Creations, and yeah, everything else that is gonna come is gonna be awesome. I'm sure it is. So
Much more to come because we're in a brand new timeline. Yeah, let me just close with that real quick to give people a heads up that we are now, as a collective, going through a mid-decade shift, and it's here now because we've had 3 outer planets come in that haven't been here since the 1800s. We have Pluto, the planet of our soul, is here after 285 years. He just got here in the sign of Aquarius, which is the collective, and what we're doing out in the community. And then we have Neptune, which is all spirit, and our dreams and our visions, who just got here after 165 years in the sign of Aries. And so he's asked, because Aries is I am independent, I am my own sovereign person. And so he's asking you, what are your dreams and visions? What would you like to achieve? And so we have that happening. And then we have Uranus, right? Good old Uranus. And by the way, Uranus is also the planet of light language, of light. So isn't that
Wow.
interesting? Yeah, and that's my planet, right?
Mm.
And that's where, I've actually been seeing a lot of people that all of a sudden have just got their light language gifts. That's Uranus moving into Gemini, because Gemini is a planet of communication and language, and
Mm.
Uranus is a planet of light. So more and more people are going to be having an activation for their light language and their codes, because Gemini is channeling and drawing things. So that's three brand new energies that, because Uranus takes 85 years to get here. So all three of these planets have come in, and we'll never, I mean, we're not going to live to be 285 years again, or 165, or 85. We're closely getting there. I'm closely getting there. But when this happened back in the 1800s, um, that's when the timelines flipped and we went through what's called the mid-decade shift, and that's when we went through the Renaissance era.
Mm.
So August, September, and October is when we are now implementing this change and these timelines, because we've got a lot of planets retrograde right now. So that's just concentrating that energy, giving us time to redo, revise, restructure, right? Re-strategize. So get ready, right? So we're in a brand new timeline for the next 2,000 years. That's air energy, right? Fast moving energy. And so this is where we're going to see a lot. I mean, we think, we're getting new technology now, new advancements. Oh, it's going to be even more over the next 7 years. And they're saying, because the energy is so fast moving now, and Uranus and Gemini are both travel, Gemini's travel, and Uranus is fast, like flights. So they're saying that they're gonna come up with an airplane that can travel across the world in 2 hours.
Wow.
So yeah, so that, because that's how fast the energy is moving. And so get ready. We're in a mid-decade shift, and this is all about this timeline that we're shifting into. It's a quantum leap, because Uranus is the planet of quantum leaping. Like all of a sudden, I'm in a different, future, which is truly where I'm at compared to where I was 13 years ago, right? Different timeline, different energy, and it's really blessed. So there are a lot of people going through big changes right now, and they're like, what is going on? Well, it's this mid-decade shift, and it's all about really pretty much the unicorn energy. Because it's about, yeah, I know, right? Um, it's about, what is your inner child calling, for you to create? And we're going into the Renaissance era, basically like the hippie era. It's all about, accepting people for who they are and what they can do, loving your gifts and talents, loving other people for what they have, and then you going out there and being an artist, being an entrepreneur, being a creative, and people appreciating that, right? So how beautiful is that, that we can now, all of us are, and they're saying that this shift by 2039 is supposed to be all love and light and all higher frequency. And I know, right? Yes.
That's some good news with everything
It's
happening
great
in the
news. It's
world.
great news, right? And so people like you and I that already have these gifts that we're moving into, we're here to be way showers and help people activate the light, be the light, and walk in the light.
That is so
So
wonderful. That's a perfect wrap up. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
thank you. I love being here with you. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. I'll let you go because I can go on forever. And but I really appreciate your time and energy. And I know it's a lot later over there. So thank you so much, Janine. Thank you.
Thank you for
Really
coming.
grateful.
Thank you, all the beautiful souls who listen. See you hopefully for part two and for all the podcasts to come.